Welcome, Scorpio, to your Mars in Pisces 6-week forecast. From March the 2nd through to April the 9th, your traditional ruler Mars moves into what is for you the fifth house, which can be very charismatic. The host is, of course, a water sign. What's the implication? I'm going to share with you the exact moment that Mars arrives from your unique perspective, because Mars also forges two other angles to other planets, which will be powerful over the next 6 weeks. I'm then going to unpack that will in detail, share with you the upcoming influences, so you've got a clear picture of what the next weeks hold for relationships, finance, energy, and work. I'm astrologer Patrick Arundel. A very warm welcome. So on the screen is your event chart, and there is Mars. So Mars rules two zodiac signs: Aries, which is very much about its desire for instant action and can be about pace, movement, and desire to crack on with things. Mars's rulership of your sign is more it's a more subterranean energy, and the sign of Pisces does welcome that more, because for you it's an opportunity for you to get more deeply in touch with how you can manifest your talents, your flair, but most of all your gorgeousness. So over the next 6 weeks you get a chance to really strut your stuff. You can feel more desirable. Mars is about that, of course, but most of all, you can have more confidence about how you look and how you interact with others. But Mars in the sign of Pisces also meets the resistance of the water, so not everything may go exactly to plan. We also have Mercury in the sign in retrograde, which can create some glitches. But on the opposite side of the heavens as Mars arrives is the position of the moon, preparing for the total lunar eclipse of Tuesday, the 3rd of March. And that opposition between them is not easy. The moon, of course, is very much about the more sensitive domain. It can be about our feelings, our home, our family situation. But in the 11th house, it's about the things that motivate you, your higher purpose, but it can be about your friendships too. The position of Mars in the fifth house is going to make you more single-minded about doing what you need to do for you. Will everyone be happy? Not necessarily, because Uranus intersects both the moon and Mars in a T-square. In fact, Scorpio, if we go back to last Friday, Mars, your ruler, was on the last degree, the anaretic degree of Aquarius, and was in a direct right angle exactly with Uranus. And if there were some tensions around you with someone close, you may be in the mood to do your own thing more, to break out, be more of a free spirit. But the fifth house has a kind of Leonian feel. Yes, it's good to showcase your talent, particularly if you have an interest in performance, music, acting, karaoke, whatever it may be. If you're someone happy to take the limelight, Mars is going to help you. But there could be someone who would be resentful about this, with the moon in opposition or Uranus in your sector of relating, if you don't stay in touch with the inter play between others in your situation. And someone could surprise you by being quite outspoken over the next few weeks, just when you're not expecting it. So you're going to have a much greater desire to manifest what makes you fab, and that's great to do. Turn up the volume, but just be aware somewhere in the mix, someone may have an issue with that. Does that mean to say you shouldn't do it? Absolutely not. But as I mentioned, Mercury is in a retrograde. So when it comes to your love life, if there is someone that you are desiring, Mars, and you want to take the action to reach out to them, just be aware that Mercury retrograde suggests that not everything in relationships always runs smoothly. So there could be some cancellations, last minute changes of plan, or just misunderstandings. More positively, Venus, the planet of relating, forges an amazing link to Uranus. And perhaps what this whole shift is about in terms of the big picture of the year, we go back to the start of 26, there was a cluster of energy, including Mars, in the part of your chart to do with quick communication. Then that posse moved into the fourth house for you, where Pluto remains, very much about the emotional dimension. And perhaps over the last 6 weeks, there has been some turbulence or uncertainty, or perhaps you felt just a bit prickly about certain parts of your uh, personal life. Now you're much more in the mood to have fun, and you want to have fun on your terms. And it could be by being in that mindset, you can make something happen. But there may be someone else close to you, a friend, or perhaps someone you're connected or have connected to in the past, who's not completely convinced by this new part of your energy that you're starting to develop. Now, in the middle of March and going through the whole of week 3, Mars meets the retreating Mercury. I think in some ways, despite the retrograde of Mercury, you can turn that to your advantage. It might give you an extra incentive to try and make something happen. Maybe it is a meetup, maybe it is a date, maybe it is showcasing your talent, but don't rush it. Mars can be impatient. Mercury's all about the details. But then later in the month, as Jupiter goes direct in the most expansive part of your chart on the 11th, he comes into a fantastic link with Mars towards the end of March. And if there's something that you're really inspired about, maybe it's a travel plan, maybe it's something to do with a new business idea, maybe it is to do with someone you're friendly with, the excitement can be manifest. Jupiter and Mars really egg each other on to go for it and not worry too much about what can go wrong. And early in the month of April, as Mars comes into a wonderful sextile to Uranus, what seemed to be tense and awkward at the period as we go into Mars moving into Pisces can now come back to you. Suddenly, someone who may not have been in touch wants to be in touch. If a love relationship has been a bit off and on, it could be back on again by the first week of April. But then again, you could have broken away from an unsatisfactory relationship where you don't feel your future is served. And with Jupiter going direct in your sector of freedom, particularly in the part of your chart to do with your higher purpose and your principles, if you don't feel it's going to work out and it's not proved much fun and it has felt miserable, although the breaking free can be jagged and not very easy, by the end of the time of Mars being in Pisces, you can start to see the rewards. So just to summarize, Scorpio, I feel that this can be a time of great social interaction, playfulness, and therefore, if you're looking for a romantic connection, your prospects are really quite strong. In terms of ongoing friendships and relationships, that is more tentative. Be careful not to be too rash. As far as your work is concerned, if you are a creative in any way, you've got flair and talents you want to demonstrate to others, Saturn is saying make sure of the details, but this cluster of energy is certainly saying, look, if you're in the mood to really demonstrate just how brilliant your ideas are, have maximum confidence in that. When it comes to neat financial affairs, the fifth house can be very much about speculation, and Mars can be about risk. But because of that square initially to Uranus and the opposition to the moon, I wouldn't be too quick to risk something you can't truly afford to lose. Please join me at my new website at patrickarundel.com. It's got lots of content there. You can read your daily, weekly, monthly, yearly love horoscopes, for example. And if you want to know more about what March holds for you, please click on that video. Or if you'd like to know more about the deep dive into the lunar eclipse in your 6-month forecast there, please click that video. Thank you.